Good morning, all of you. Myself Nayak Riya, and today I am going to explain you about human brain. So, has your brain ever wondered what are the parts of the human brain and what are their function? So, basically, what we are going to learn about. So, let's start. This one is known as forebrain. This is midbrain, and this is hindbrain. So, what we are looking at is a section of your brain. To make sense of this, let's say you may able to see someone's brain from the top. You will able to see something like this. Don't worry, this is not a brain. This is just a walnut, but it's similar look like a brain. So we can broadly divide our brain into three parts. Number one, that is forebrain. Number two, that is midbrain, and number three, that is hindbrain. So this big yellow section is known as forebrain. The tiny pink section is known as midbrain, and the blue section is known as hindbrain. So, what are their function? What are their parts? We are going to learn about further about that. So, usually when we say humans say big brain, we are basically talking about the big yellow part section. So, the actual starting of the brain stem is known as midbrain. So, what is brain stem? Brain stem is on the top. Brain stem connects forebrain to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord continues. So, the actual beginning part of that brain stem is known as the midbrain. Okay, and the lateral section of the brain, this is the lower section of the brain, this is known as hindbrain. So now what are the function of the forebrain, hindbrain and midbrain? Let's learn about that. So forebrain is all about voluntary actions, and midbrain and the hindbrain, all of them together is a function of involuntary actions. So when we are talking about voluntary actions, so the actions which are controlled by the will and the conscious people are said to be an voluntary action. For example, running, walking, and dancing. And secondly, when we are saying involuntary action, then the actions which are some functions are in a body which are not in control, like breathing process, digestion process, heart beating, all of that. So now let's look at the forebrain and what are their functions and what forebrain do. So first, what are the parts of the forebrain? So forebrains have four parts. Number one, the big part of the yellow section is known as cerebrum. So this is a big part of the brain that is known as cerebrum. And if you look at the another part, if you see, there are the three intersections here. That is 1, 2, and 3. In the inner, if you see, if you look at the forebrain, there are this bigger part is known as cerebrum, and if there are two sides, outer section and the inner section. Outer section contains too many folds, and the inner section have three intersection points. That is 1, 2, and 3. The first one is known as thalamus. The second one is known as hypothalamus. And the third one is known as pituitary gland. So these are the four different parts of the forebrain. Let's repeat. The big outer part of the brain is known as cerebrum. The inner section in which three intersections are there. The first one is known as thalamus. Second one is known as hypothalamus, and third one is known as. So now let's look what next is this midbrain. We will not look at the midbrain because this is not in our syllabus, but for your general knowledge and information, uh, midbrain has also three parts. Let me write here: polycily and tegmentum. The third one is cerebral. So these are the three parts of the midbrain. So let's directly jump to the hindbrain, the lateral section. So hindbrain, if you observe the hindbrain carefully, you will see two regions here. This is one and this is two. If you see at the bottom part, this is known as medulla oblongata. And this is very important for us. And this is the middle part. This region is known as pons. And this part, which is exactly look like our brain itself, this is known as, let me write here, cerebellum. So don't confuse between cerebrum and cerebellum. Cerebrum is the biggest part of the brain and cerebellum is the name given by to it. Okay, so now how cerebellum and how medulla oblongata works, because these both are important to us. Let's look at that. So first, medulla oblongata. How medulla oblongata works and what are their functions? So the living the in already we have said the hindbrain is containing involuntary actions. So the living processes, the all living process of involuntary actions contains medulla oblongata. I'm giving examples of heart beating process, digestion process, breathing process. All these are essential for life, and this essential are taken care by medulla oblongata. Next is cerebellum. Okay, what is cerebellum? Cerebellum is similar to the medulla oblongata, but one difference is there. What is the difference? Maintaining balance. Now, what I mean to say by maintaining balance, okay, if you are walking or if you are holding a cup, for this you require the control, you require control coordination for balancing that. Okay, if you are walking, if you are holding a cup, you need control to hold the cup. If you have not control, you can not hold a cup. So for that a control coordination need it's needed. So that work is done by the cerebellum. And the third and the second and the last major function of the cerebellum is motor memory. Now what's the motor memory is? Okay, if I am giving you example, you are riding a bicycle. First of all, if you are learning something first time, you are using forebeam a lot. Okay, when you are riding bicycle, you first learn how to balance the bicycle, how the pedal works, how to trigger it, how to maintain it, how to balance it. These all things you learn, and you try to memorize that things in your mind, how to balance, how to trigger, how the pedal works, and you started to cycling the cycle. For this, you need to all these things to memorize in your mind. So this is a memory to memorize in your mind, that how the pedal works, how to ride a bicycle, how to maintain a balance. All of you need is just to take this learning into your memory. Everything you learn is goes into the memory. So if you are riding a bicycle, you need memory, how pedal works and all of things. You have learned these things and then you memorize your things, and then you started to cycle. Then you started to cycling the cycle. So this is the last. Okay, I hope you all have learned things, and if you have any problem, you can say me. I hope this will helpful to you, and thank you for listening me.